Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're 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 gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Ken Bozak.
And we're live. Is this thing on?
Yo.
Hello?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Great. How goes it? Not another Bitcoin podcast. Big shout out to Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club Las Vegas. I guess we could kind of start there if you guys want. But Miggy, go ahead and introduce yourself, our guest, and get this party started.
Yo, what's up? Mickey Crypto X on X here, co-host of Not Another Bitcoin podcast, and we are back live doing the things that you know and love, getting to talk to some cool people and their projects about, what's going on in the Web3. And so we'd like to introduce our next guest, homie from the ShapeShift team. If you'd like to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your role and what we want to talk about tonight.
Sweet. Yeah, my name's H Payne. Also, real legal name is Houston. You can call me H-Town, H-Dog, Houston,
Nice.
Whatever, as long as it's not like a slur or like something like mean. Like, I'm cool with it. I've been in crypto since 2014. ShapeShift actually was like my first like interface that I used way back in the day. So I'm like a customer turned builder, which is super cool. I'm currently the head of marketing and protocol relations at ShapeShift. Been doing that now for 3 going on 4 years, working at the DAO, which is super awesome. And that's what we're up to today. We're still doing it. We're building, ShapeShift just as it was and better than before, from back in 2014. And we're just out here vibing. So really, really stoked to be here, guys.
Dude, I want to talk about the DAO a little bit. Can you explain to the people that are listening, like, how that works with ShapeShift, or like even what that is? Because every day there's people getting into this space that hear these terms, and it feels like we stopped explaining things a few years ago, and it's like, do your own research, you know what I mean? But ShapeShift has a DAO. That's awesome. Let people know how that works.
Yeah, actually, I think it's better if I back it up and give us a little journey of the story, because it's being a DAO is only as cool as sort of what came before. Because I think the precedent sets why ShapeShift needs to be a DAO and why ShapeShift thought the DAO model would fit its needs. So ShapeShift, founded back in 2014, was one of the first couple of centralized exchanges based out of Denver. It was a U.S. centralized exchange, go trading crypto. Was the first company to die on the sword of having to KYC its users, and was one of the first companies to implement KYC. And because of that, people were like, what do you mean I have to KYC to do crypto? That's super antithetical to the whole thing. And they were like, hey, guess what? That's what everyone will have to do now. So get used to it. And so basically, ShapeShift lost literally 98% of its users, went overseas to Binance. If you remember back, I was in college using like Binance. This was pre-Binance.us. This was just like when you could just go and like do whatever on Binance, and didn't really matter. And so everyone was mad. We lost about 98% of our volume went overseas, and we basically from 2018 to 2021, we were sort of fumbling around. We're like, where's our users? Everyone hates us because we KYC'd people. And the sex model isn't really what crypto should be, right? What Eric really envisioned, what the ShapeShift team envisioned, was crypto being a borderless, permissionless financial system, right? That really empowered people to transcend these weird privacy things, to maintain their own privacy, to keep their own identities secrets, not have to KYC. And they're like, wait a minute, there's this new model of organization or new model of collective moving, which is called a DAO. Let's try it out. So ShapeShift in 2021 liquidated everything, paid out the shareholders, did the largest airdrop at the time of Fox tokens to people who used the exchange, myself included, which got me into the DAO. And that was the whole purpose was, hey, if you've used ShapeShift and you want to be a part of the organization and you like our product, here's a bunch of tokens, right? Anyone who has these tokens can vote with them. You can put up governance proposals, blah, 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 blah. And from 2021 onwards, there's been a sort of a movement back towards the original ethos that ShapeShift founded in 2014, which was, permissionless, borderless finance, right? That literally is what it is. And so back to the actual question is, what is a DAO? DAO is a abbreviation. It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. And so really what that means is ShapeShift, in effect, people, we will try to work with people and like, oh, give us an address. And it's like, oh, we don't have one. We have an ETH address. We have a Bitcoin address. We have no physical brick and mortar. We have contributors all around the globe. The way that we work is people put proposals up and the token holders approve them, and we just keep it rolling from there. And the goal is ultimately is for the DAO to be ruled by code and not have people's fingers in the pie doing weird things off chain. Everything is transparent, on chain, logic executed. And because of that, we can do really cool stuff like not have to KYC our users now. And so that's long answer to your short question.
That's awesome.
Well, I want to submit a proposal to the DAO. I want to get a ShapeShift tattoo. I have some good real estate right here for a nice ShapeShift tattoo. So I want to put a proposal together, submit it to the DAO, and see if I can get some Fox tokens.
Okay.
Yeah.
You totally should, yeah. And actually, like, if anyone can go, and we like the workstream leaders, right? I'm the head of marketing, a workstream leader. Post weekly updates, and this is forum.shapeshift.com. Anyone can go there, throw a proposal up, say hi, read what the DAO has been doing, see what the contributors all over the world are doing, engage on this forum, and be like, hey, my name's Ken. I want to get a ShapeShift tattoo. I want 10,000 Fox, and here are the benefits X, Y, Z, P, D, Q. You can put it through the governance process, and I'm not saying it's going to get voted through, but if you have a compelling argument, the ROI is super clear. You can, show how it's going to move the ShapeShift brand forward, right? Like that's how people get funding to do cool projects, and which is really cool. Like we've launched projects like Archeo. We've launched, we've been VCs for smaller projects that like have sort of spun up and gone out, and that really is the spirit of the DAO. It's like we are building a community of builders that are trying to push and propel the decentralized financial ecosystem forward, which is really cool. Like, and even if it comes to like getting tattoos, right? Like that totally like fits in line with like what our mission is.
Nice. Yeah, that's some good marketing.
Tats in the chat. I see you, Double O Tats.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's the best marketing, man. I've definitely, been looking to Ken for that inspiration of the tattoo marketing, because I've got lots of available real estate. He's definitely been my inspiration for that. But you can't beat lifetime marketing. You know what I mean? Especially when you consider how much an ad is just in general, how much it is to pay for that ad for 6 months, 9 months, a year. But then you got something like a Ken Bozak billboard that you can put a ShapeShift tattoo on, and that's you got the at least 30 40 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so
I could put it on my other palm. I could
consider
put it right
the amount
there.
of money that would be badass. Yeah, and you consider how much money you get to do the tattoo time, divided by how many years he'll be alive and shit. Like, man. And plus the future, who knows? Maybe he finds a way to extend his life and he gets cryogenically frozen like Hal Finney or something, bro. That tattoo will be there for centuries and shit.
Or what you could do is you could, as you get more tattoos, you could just like take your shirt off and then slowly like step further back from the camera, so like more of your body's showing. So you could like start with the neck, and then you could do like the chest, and then like eventually just do like the whole torso. That'd be
That's
crazy.
hilarious. That's awesome. What is it? What are the requirements to become a DAO member?
Literally hold Fox tokens, and honestly, like the bar is so low, you could even just join the Discord or join or post on the forum, right? And so if you want to join the Discord, it's discord.gg/shapeshift. You just join and you're like, hey, I want to contribute, or I want to volunteer, or I have a proposal. And there's like a bunch of people who'll be like, hey, like, what's your idea? And you should put it over here and let's workshop it. And that's really like the spirit of what we're trying to build, is like just jump in and do stuff. And that's actually how I got started, as random thought. So I graduated college in 2021, peak of COVID. They were like, hey, you graduated college, now go get a job. And I was like, nice. Like, cool. And I was like, okay, so like, what am I gonna do? I was supposed to I got hired supposed to be working at Amazon doing some other random crap. You know, I was like, this is not what I'm interested in. I want to do crypto. And so I was like, what are things I'm interested in? And the way I actually got started in the DAO is because I had a bunch of these Fox tokens. I was like, okay, what do I do these? Why do I have all these Fox tokens? What do I do? And so I joined the Discord. I was like, hey, got a bunch of Fox. You know, what's this? And they're like, oh, hey, we're a DAO. Anyone can do blah. And I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? And they said, actually, yeah, like, what do you want to do? And I said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to do marketing, something. And they hired me on part-time, and they're like, great, like, just 3, 2, 1, go. Like, tell us what you want to do. We'll do it. And I joined the marketing team and sort of worked my way up from there. And so it's super easy to get started. And actually, we've had a couple people that came in recently, like 4 or 5 people who came in, and they're just like, hey, I saw you guys at Bitcoin Las Vegas. We really like the vibe. I really want to contribute. I don't even want to get paid. I just want to volunteer and like spread like the message of decentralized permissionless finance, because I really strongly believe in that value proposition. And that's been really cool to come in, because that is the ethos we stand by.
I like that. It reminds me of like the Ethereum the ETH Denver sport token DAO. You know, like you know, they do the event to get a free. Oh yeah, you're wearing it. My Buffett coin's hiding somewhere back there. But you know how it is. To get the free ticket, all you need to do is buy some sport token to become part of the sport DAO. And you know, there's no minimum. So I like that. I think, you know, making it easy, because, you know, like Ken said, there's not a lot of talk on DAOs and really explaining, you know, what the structure is, how to get invited. And some are, you know, are gated, you know, for reasons, you know, they're harder to get into or have more requirements and stuff. I think for something like this, where you want more community involvement, you want to have, you know, a little bit of ideas coming from different people, different, you know, perspectives, and being able to have a say, and, you know, or, you know, like you mentioned earlier, being able to make different applications to have different things happen, you know, within the community or for the community. That's cool, man. I like that. I think we're definitely gonna have to get me some Fox token, which according to Coin Market Cap, ShapeShift Fox token right now is sitting at a good 2 cents.
I'll take
wow.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that is really cool, actually, before we get off the topic of governance, and actually this is crazy because someone wrote a thread on this the other day, and they were talking about how tokenized governance is like not utility, and it's like really hard because you have to take like once you get tokens, like for Velodrome, for example, you have to like lock your V Velo, and then like they're locked and delegated, and then your delegate votes for you, and then like they're locked for X amount of days, and the proposal could extend past the lock period, which like sort of has this weird position where like people don't want to buy and lock their tokens, which means they're missing out on the opportunity to vote, right? And the cool thing with Fox is if you just hold the tokens when a proposal goes up, then you can go and vote. So there's no lock, and there's no like weird like, hey, like make sure you don't sell these tokens. Like you could just buy the tokens and just get started, and there's no locking it, there's no funny business. It's like when you can participate when you want to, and you want out, and you're like, hey, I don't want to vote anymore. You could sell your Fox, or this is super fire. And like my head of tokenomics would kill me if I didn't mention this. There's a bunch of like cool tokenomic and like things that have sort of evolved in the last 3 years, which, you know, I'm sure our head of tokenomics could speak to a lot better than I can. But basically, we've made Fox a token that gives a proportion of the revenue back to people who stake it. And this is not for governance. This is purely for receiving a portion of the revenue back from the ShapeShift protocol, and we're revising it to be USDC. So you stake Fox and you get paid back USDC. That's directly from the revenues that ShapeShift generates, which is super cool. And like we're printing, so our head of product made this comparison.
You're skipping Go, but how does ShapeShift even make revenue? Like, what do you do? How do you make money? All you do is ShapeShift coin from coin to coin, like.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I'm jumping everywhere. Yeah, so ShapeShift, actually, we've like, we funny thing about being a DAO is we've also attracted like probably 8 or 9 really, really smart minds around like tokenomics, like fees, funnels, like they've like done all these different, you know, breakdowns of like how to incentivize users and like where like the token sits and how we can best share the most value with users while enticing them to hold the token and, you know, stake it and do all this other stuff. And so ShapeShift, some history here. ShapeShift used to have a discount program where users could hold Fox and they got a sliding scale of fees down to free trades on app.shapeshift.com. And we found that no one actually was buying Fox to get discounts on trades. And we were like, that's stupid. And like, why are we doing this if no one's taking advantage of the program? And so we lowered the amount of fees. So there's a flat fee on all the trades on ShapeShift. It's 55 basis points. And for those of you who don't speak nerd, that's 0.55% of basically of your total trades. If you're trading $1, right, you just multiply $1 times 0.55 or 0.0055, and then that would be the total fee that goes towards ShapeShift. And then we share 25% of those revenues back with Fox token holders across any of our swappers. And then we pocket the 75% back to the DAO. Actually,
That's cool.
we pocket 50% back to the DAO, 25% goes to buy back and burn Fox, 25% gets shared as revenue to Fox token holders that stake their Fox, and then 50% gets pocketed back by the DAO to pay for operations or, you know, going to the Bitcoin conference or, you know, paying for Ken's tattoo.
I'm actually thinking it would look really good on the other hand. Like,
if you put a proposal up, that would really hurt. You have to. I'd want a video for sure.
This one came with a little blacking out and swearing. I didn't really realize I was cursing at my tattoo artist, but apparently I threatened to fight people. I was so blacked out and in pain. I was like, yeah, I feel like that happened probably, guys. It hurts. Tattoos hurt, but they're worth it, especially for ShapeShift, man. Been a big fan of Eric forever, man. Like, big fan of ShapeShift. I'm not really into using exchanges. So like when I saw like BitShares in the OG days and stuff, and then I was like, all right, this is one option. And then in ShapeShift, I was like, well, why do people even use exchanges? I get it for like the trading and like, you know, buy order, sell order, all that, but like, like it's like so corny. Stop being a trader. Just hold the shit, right? And or be a swapper. You know, stop being a trader and just be a swapper or a shifter. I guess we should start. Yeah, let's use that vernacular. Start calling people shifters. No, shapeshifters.
Hey,
like
shifter.
Yeah, you're a shifter, not a trader, bro. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like,
I like that.
Traders. I look at traders like actual like Benedict Arnold, like actual traitors. You know what I mean? Like you're dumping your coin for another coin. I thought you had diamond hands, but when you're shifting it, that's not the same as like putting in a sell order or dumping it. Like it's totally different, especially on like the market. It looks different, it reflects differently. And for me personally, if I have a token or a coin and I want to swap it for another one, shape shifting it into it feels less disrespectful than going on the exchange and just like dumping it for another coin. I don't know. Is that just me?
No, I like that.
It's a respectful way to trade tokens, bro. It's like being a shifter.
Shift. That's the new trend. And even instead of trends, we'll just call them shifts. That's the new shift, man. Becoming a shifter.
Our marketing, we tried to make it a thing, but then we'd have to explain like what a shift is. Because actually, so crazy enough, like I think it was 6 or 8 months ago, we integrated Portals, which is an API that allows us to do like one-click enter and exit DeFi, and we called them shifts. And everyone was like, "What the hell is a shift?" And it's like, "Oh, it's when you go from like USDC into like a beefy ETH whatever LP pool, and then it gets staked, but you do it in one action. So it's like a hop and a swap and a stake and a whatever." And they're like, "I don't get it." And we're like, "Okay, like let's go back," because like it went to the point where like we were simplifying it so much that people were like, "This is fake," and we were like, okay, like let's call it something else. But I do like the idea of like calling things shifts, and when ShapeShift gets like more mind share and people like are on board and we can like reinforce, like just correct everyone to saying shift, then I'm just gonna go all in on that. I think that's the plan.
I like that.
Let's get
That's
shifty.
Awesome. Ooh, that'd be a good meme. Steal the Rick and Morty meme and
The Rick and Morty one
with Shifty. Yeah, I like that.
You're hired.
So for the DAO, I've heard Ken talk about this before, and it definitely sparked curiosity. Like about maybe penalties for DAO members who are part of the DAO, but they don't like participate. Do you guys like do anything like that, or is that anything that like has been talked about or stuff like that, of like kind of penalizing DAO members who don't
Yeah.
participate or do anything? I guess they
Yeah,
just
the
kind of.
repercussions for lazy Dell people. Like, yeah, there should be something. I like that. Thanks, Miggy.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
that's a great question. Actually, you're talking to the right person for this, and unfortunately, I'm smiling because I'm laughing at the last joke, not because I think this is a funny topic. Just for the record, but I was brought in, and I'm in full discretion. I'm 26 years old, and so I was two years ago I was brought in, and they were like, hey, you're now the head of marketing, or like I put up a proposal, and I was like, I want to be the head of marketing. And they're like, great, you're the head of marketing, go nuts. And so the first thing I did was I consolidated. We had a globalization and growth team and a marketing team, and we're like, why is growth and marketing separate? And so I merged the teams, and the first thing I had to do was I had to go and weed out. I basically culled half the team. I had to let go of some of those team members who were on my team. And so the way that work streams do that is the hierarchy of a DAO. There's a great image that Willie O made, and basically it's like it's like the DAO, and then underneath it is work stream leaders, and underneath work stream leaders is work stream contributors, and then sort of like underneath and like next to contributors is like contractors, who are people we bring in for like one-off jobs, or like, hey, my name's Ken and I want to go paint this thing on the side. We're like, great, it's a one-time thing, we'll throw you $500, and 3, 2, 1, go. And so the way that we handle people who are underperforming, right, is sort of it's up to the work stream leader to enforce work ethic, similar to how you have a boss, and the boss could be like, hey dude, hey Ken, like I really don't like how you haven't shown up to work in 4 weeks, like here's how you can improve X, Y, and Z, P, D, and Q. If you fix these 3 things, and here's a path on how you can like improve your performance to meet my expectations, and if you don't, then we're gonna have to let you go. And something that's actually really cool and not really talked about is ShapeShift. Actually, for the people we do let go, I usually give them severance, as well as like if we had a couple of female contributors, and one of them got pregnant, and she went on maternity leave, and we paid maternity leave the entire time. And so it's not like a, hey, like come in, like if you're not at work, like you're fired. It's like, hey, we're treating this like we're all humans. There's a set of expectations. If you hit them, awesome. If you don't, like it's the workstream lead's job to bring you up so you can meet the expectations. If you still miss them after 2 months, it's like, hey, let's have a conversation. Sorry, you're not, I don't want to work with you anymore. I can't work with you anymore. You're free to put a proposal up. But that's like a whole rigmarole that you'd have to go through. And some people do, some people don't.
Well, not just for the people who are submitting the proposals, but for the people who are voting on them, right? Like the people who are in the position to weigh in on that vote. Like if you are staking and earning USDC for that, but you're not participating in the actual voting, I feel like there should be a penalty on how much like USDC you're able to earn until your participation percentage goes up or something. Because like my thing is, I hate lazy like people who have like a high valued vote but they never vote on things. Like you're a whale in the DAO, but like you won't like raise your hand to vote on anything all year long. So like maybe you shouldn't be earning as much USDC as people who do participate every single day. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Or I mean, this is like I try to frame things. We should have this same thoughts. Like, how do we get people to like participate and feel like they are encouraged and welcome to participate? And it's like people feel really bad, and like we want to encourage whales to buy more Fox. Someone came in the Discord and they're like, hey, Fox is undervalued. I just bought 1 million Fox. I think Fox is awesome. Go Fox, rah rah. And it's like awesome. Like I want to encourage more people to come in and do that. But at the same time, I don't want to penalize people. And so instead of penalizing people, maybe we give everyone a bonus of Fox, or it's like, hey, surprise, if you've like staked your Fox at the end of the year, the marketing work stream has 100,000 Fox. We're going to distribute, proportionally into the share that you've staked. And that's a little like thank you bonus. Right. But those of you who didn't vote, you get, it's a reduction of the bonus instead of like taking away from the base level. It's just, here's the bonus and you don't get it after the fact. So instead of taking away, it's not getting the add-on, which I mean maybe psychologically feels better to me at least.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to join this DAO. I want to be a part of it.
You should.
That's cool.
It's a great time, and like there's so many community meetings that happen. Like literally every single day, there's a meeting you can jump in and just like listen and contribute. And like all the marketing meetings are in public, all the engineering meetings are in public. I've started streaming the governance the the daily stand-ups. If you go to my Twitter, at hpain_writer, you can see a streamed recording of our ops sprint from this morning when we just like walked through, hey, what are we accomplishing today? And everyone, all the different work streams walked through, hey, this week we're delivering X, Y, and Z, PD and Q. And then we talk to each other. It's like, hey, what are some roadblocks we need to, accomplish? And then we can just sort of move forward from there. And it's like, literally, it's so easy to get started. People, sometimes, some people take advantage of this and some people don't, which I get it because it's Discord. Like, that's like, we got to have a better tool for organizing.
Well, BitChat's coming out. Maybe that'll be better than Discord. Jack Dorsey just announced it.
Recording stopped.
Okay. When does that come out?
I don't know. It just came out with
just
a white paper and beta.
Right, but so they just announced and kind of been talking about.
Oh, and Double Tat said he's going to submit a proposal to be a ShapeShift tattoo artist because he got submitted. He submitted a proposal to Bitcoin Cash, got approved, got funding, and now he's making a salary working for Bitcoin Cash, giving out free Bitcoin Cash tattoos every day. So he could give out free ShapeShift tattoos every day and do the same thing. So yeah, Double O, I see you in the chat. Submit the proposal, bro. Again, Miggy.
Yeah, no, that's dope. I really like that. That's brilliant. We're gonna be, marketing within marketing. It's the inception of ShapeShift marketing. We're gonna shift the cosmos. No, I like how you guys have the DAO set up. I think it's a good structure. Again, it's kind of confusing navigating through the ecos of what a DAO is and how it runs. How do you like, I guess as far as the way you guys are structured and how you guys do the votes, how do you feel like that setup is? When submitting a proposal and like when voting, do you feel like that's easy for people to learn, or is it something that kind of requires like a little bit of onboarding and hand holding?
I think if you know how to read like documents and like you're sort of a self-starter, then it's pretty transparent. But if you're like, I don't know like how to look for some stuff, which is totally fine, like because like the way things get indexed is different on different sites, and like like if you like, we'll send there's a bunch of links where you can go, here's the instructions for submitting a proposal. It's super transparent. I really should have this pulled up in front of me, but it's like after 14 days there's like 3 steps of governance where it's like ideation, incubation, ideation, and then you actually submit the proposal. So there's like 3 layers where you can get feedback every step of the way of your proposal. There's documentation as to like how it should be formatted. We have a weekly governance call actually on Thursday where if you submit a proposal and we have people who come in and they just throw something up, and you can actually come up on stage in front of the entire DAO and have your pitch and just you talk to everyone. And it's like, instead of having a weird impersonal like thread on the forum, you can now get up on stage and then all the workstream leaders are there, all the core contributors are there, and we're just like hanging out. You get 15-20 minutes to talk about your proposal. If you're like, oh, and I don't know what the next steps are, that's then the time you can go get some help to push you through into the next step or to get feedback on it. And so as you can start refining your proposal. So it's not just like weird crickets or like, someone responds, that's cool. But you're like, and you're trying to read into the subtext and you're like, is that sarcasm or do they actually think it's cool? And so you actually you get some real validation and feedback from the people who are like there building every single day. So
how they have temp agencies? I'm going to start a DAO agency. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going.
No, I totally. And actually like I think getting started to short answer your long question, or sorry, short answer your short question, not the long answer. It can be complicated, but there are people there to help you along the way. And that's really what we're trying to build, is a community of builders who are helping propel people forward and really take the step to do this. Because this is a new way of doing work. It's a new way of doing business. It's a new way of building that functionally hasn't really existed until like the last 5 or 10 years. Like we're still trying to figure out how to operate the system, and we can't expect people to just know off the cuff, And so we're really trying to get people to move along forward with this.
That's awesome. No, I think it's good. I think it's you guys got a bright future for that. I'm gonna buy me some Fox token and jump in. Definitely got to come up with some good proposals for you guys.
I'm gonna earn some Fox token and jump in.
There you go. Yeah, maybe make a proposal to make some content for ShapeShift, and talk about Fox and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask about, if you want to let everybody know a little bit about, the Bitcoin trading aspects and maybe some of the Bitcoin DeFi that's going on. Maybe talk about a little bit about
chain, baby.
Yeah, and talk about a little bit like what that is and and what ShapeShift is doing, to kind of push that ethos.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Not another Bitcoin podcast. Bitcoin is the thing everyone cares about here. So like, let's talk about Bitcoin. So ShapeShift is really cool. So back in 2014, when I first started getting started, I I was mining Bitcoin, right? And my Bitcoin and, you know, whatever. And so I was like, what do I do with this? And so I went on ShapeShift, and it was basically insert wallet address 1, you know, insert wallet address 2. The swap executes on the back end. There's no KYC, there's none of that other stuff, and you just did it. And so ShapeShift today looks very similar to that. We actually have 2 products. We have classic.shapeshift.com, which is the exact same, well, slightly very, very similar product to what we had in 2014. No wallet connection needed. Address 1, address 2. It builds a send memo. You send your asset to the vault. It executes a swap on the back end and sends the corresponding asset. Let's say you're swapping Bitcoin for USDC, or you want to do a USDC to Bitcoin swap. You send the USDC to a vault. It does a swap on the back end and shoots it back to you. All of this does not require KYC. And so the big get with both all of ShapeShift's products, right, is there's no KYC. It's private. There's no like weird tracking. There's no weird like upload your documents. There's no limits on what you can and can't do. And the other thing is, I feel obligated to mention this now, is ShapeShift is entirely open source. And a lot of Bitcoiners, I feel like the OG Bitcoiners like to run their own stuff, and they're like, I want to poke around in the code. And so if you want to run this locally, you totally could. You could hook your own node up to ShapeShift in your own local environment and just run it and do whatever, right? Like the whole, again, going back to the idea, transparent finance for all. Like that's like, you know, at the core of what we're doing. And that rolls all the way back down to Bitcoin. So what we do on the main, so app.shapeshift.com, that's our flagship app. What we do is ShapeShift is a swap aggregator. And the easiest way to like get this over people's heads is Expedia. Like think of Expedia, you go and like you want to go on vacation. You're going from California to New York, and it's like, okay, and I want a hotel also. And so it gives you, you know, Southwest American, Spirit, whatever, and it tells you how many stops you have, how long the flight's going to take, how much it's going to cost, you know, your CO2 emissions. You can then filter based on those criteria, and it says based on those criteria, here's the best solution for you. And so ShapeShift similarly aggregates 8+ DEX routes, right, which all funnel through on-chain swapping, such as Thorchain, Chainflip, Li-Fi, 0x, portals. I'm missing a bunch, CowSwap, and finds you the best rate for the swap you're doing. So let's just say you want to do an ETH to Bitcoin swap. You want to say 1 ETH into Bitcoin. You could then query the swap. ShapeShift will spit out 8 or 9 different routes, and then you could sort by best rate, you know, slippage, time, right? Because sometimes you'll get a better rate, but it'll take you 3 hours to do the swap, right? Like, and maybe you want your Bitcoin right now, but you don't care that it's the best rate. You could also go that way. And so ShapeShift is really trying to put the tools into the trader's hands so that, you know, you can get past single quote front ends, because nothing feels worse than trading and then seeing, oh, I got a better rate somewhere else. Like that feels really bad. And so ShapeShift is trying to make this all Bitcoin first. So we have 14 chains in and out of Bitcoin, which is really cool. That includes Solana, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, a whole slew of EVMs, and all of that goes in and out of Bitcoin permissionlessly and in long tail DeFi positions. So that's how it ties into Bitcoin.
Damn, bro, that's awesome. I love that you said that you mentioned the open source part. Now, when things are open source, I like to think, like, how could I utilize that in my own way? Is this something that people can, like, throw their own white label on top of and kind of, like, have Ken shift?
No one's asked that question.
Could I make totally not could. Another ShapeShift?
You totally could. No, you totally could. You totally
That's
could.
Cool.
Like, you actually, like, if you found, like, I think the burden comes from the one thing that's not put on the open source, like the open source version is all the API keys to get like the node information, because obviously we don't want to publish those so people aren't just like stealing the node info, and all of a sudden our bill to liquefy is like $10 million. They're like, what's going on here? So like you could run it locally, but you'd have to have the nodes and those API data to pull the information into the app. But if you have those, I think everything else should be pretty much ready and good to go.
So is ShapeShift focusing on DeFi and not so much, getting involved with like exchanges and stuff? Because like I remember when I first saw ShapeShift and I was playing around with like Poloniex and stuff, and I was like, why doesn't the exchange just have a ShapeShift button here? Like, you know what I mean? Like some of the things I do need to trade for, yes, but some things don't necessarily need to be traded for, and I could just ShapeShift it. I could swap for it. Like it could be. So is like ShapeShift looking to get more into an exchange, like, have a feature of like a ShapeShift feature in the exchanges? Or is like ShapeShift just going this DeFi route to where it's like, why use an exchange when you could just ShapeShift?
Yeah, I think more like the second. It's like, why use an exchange when you can just ShapeShift? And weirdly enough, it's like when people ask us what our competitors are, it's like, yeah, like Uniswap and Curve and whatever, but it's like honestly, like those are like our friends. Like our competitors, I would imagine, is more so like the centralized exchanges. And like, Coinbase has done a really good job of like trying to bridge the gap of getting people on chain. But really, like at the core of our business, it's like, permissionless on-chain finance, right? Like that's really where we're trying to sit. And like if people want to add like a shift button, right, they could execute that swap on chain, and they could, like, let's say you want a button on your website that shifts your tokens into whatever, right? Like that's fine and dandy. But at the core of it all is it's all executing on chain. It's all, open source, permissionless, no KYC, no mumbo jumbo. And as long as we stay true to those principles, I think like the sky is sort of the limit there. So to answer a question in a more short form way, going more the route of trying to make the swaps experience as good as possible. And actually, crazy awesome news today. You guys are like the first like people I'm verbally telling this to. I posted on Twitter about this earlier. But we just integrated Maya Protocol, which is a fork of Thorchain, which was the first. Cool. It was the first. It was the reason actually ShapeShift could become a DAO, and that was the first thing ShapeShift integrated was just Thorchain. And what they do is permissionless Bitcoin to ETH swaps. They do Dogecoin, AVAX, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all of that to and from Bitcoin. And so we integrated Maya Protocol. We can imagine them as like the baby brother, which then unlocks Bitcoin to Dash or ZEC or other chains. And now all of a sudden, the next step is for us to support those nodes, and then pretty soon you could see those other chains and other assets inside of ShapeShift. So really trying to make this swapper more robust and adding more routes. So because like if you go to Expedia and you're like, I want to go from LA to Kentucky, and you see one flight, you're like, why am I going to Expedia? I should just go to American Airlines. Like what's the point here? You're just going to charge me more fees, and that's awful. And so, but having like 3 or 4 different routes every time you want to trade, all of a sudden, like you'll always get the best rate. Like you'll just see it.
Yep, I see you hide out saying ShapeShift needs a troll box in the chat. Definitely. I would love that. Would be bad, bro. Like, in the best way, that would be bad. I could just see that being like, an AOL chat bot kind of troll box where it's just an open chat for anybody using the ShapeShift app. Yeah. Let's bring back troll boxes, please. And let's make using exchanges less necessary. I'm not a big fan of exchanges. Not your keys, not your crypto. And ShapeShift helps keep crypto as much as you can, while still trying to like LARP as like a financial person in like the traditional world of like, you know what I mean, with like it's money, we're just swapping money. Like, yeah, I guess if you pretend hard enough, Bitcoin's money. So much better than that, but whatever. I wanted to talk a little bit about like this new ingredient everybody's throwing in everything, from Grok to ChatGPT to even my TV has AI in it. I'm just wondering, like, how is ShapeShift looking to integrate AI as like the technology gets more robust and more versatile? Is there like is there a chance like AI could submit a proposal to the ShapeShift DAO and get a job for ShapeShift? Could you lose your job to AI, bro? What the hell?
No, and actually that's so. Sorry, one thing, I'm going to say this before I forget. When I was joining Zoom, I noticed their tagline shifted, and it said AI something, something, something. Like, Zoom, your AI something, something. And I was like, what does Zoom have to do with AI? Whatever.
It's everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. You're going to have AI condoms next year.
People are just slapping AI in front of everything. And the funny thing is like, they're all just like GPT wrappers, which is like not super innovating. But the cool thing is now we have like permissionless decentralized money that's programmable, like, and that is super exciting. Like, that is like the killer crypto use case is programmable money. It's like, imagine if you could have your money just always doing something for you. Let's say, auto claim and restake, right? Let's, for example, let's say you're staking Venice tokens and on base VVV, it's paying 50%. But if you can auto claim and restake every block, right? Because the gas fees are so cheap, your 50% now turns into 64%, right? And let's just say you could do that. All of a sudden, you're making 14% more just because you can program your money to just do something for you. So that's I think that's like the next step is in terms of where ShapeShift is going. And I won't spill like the entire beans here. This is, again, we're open source. You can view this project on our GitHub. There's no secrets. Like literally, there's no like this is super like it's literally all in the GitHub. It's all in the Discord. But we're building an AI chatbot, which effectively abstracts away the front end and abstracts away the wallet experience. So let's say you could bring any wallet you want. Let's say you bring your ledger, and you could connect it to this chatbot, and you could say, "Hey, chatbot, I have scan my wallet," and it scans your wallet across all the chains you support, all 15 chains, and it says, "Oh, I see you have 3 ETH and 1 Bitcoin. What's up?" And then you say, "Oh, I want to explore some DeFi opportunities. What are some things I can do? I have relatively low risk tolerance, blah, 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 blah." It'll then spit out, it'll then help talk you through and understand what you want to do with your money. present you some options, and then basically you can execute from that human readable chat. Just say deposit 3 ETH, go, and then it'll build the transaction. You say sign or send or go, and then it builds and sends and deposits, and it manages it for you. Because the hard thing, and even I work in this space. I've been in the space since 2014. I work in it full time, and I still am like, where's the best yield for wrapped Bitcoin? Where's the best yield for Bitcoin? Like, what can I do with this? And it's like, I need to see someone to sometimes just even guide me or just point me in the right direction. And also, like, front ends can be super sus. Like, buttons won't work, things will load forever. Like, the stupid settings button is like hidden somewhere. And so just being able to talk to someone in like the most raw interaction possible is awesome. And then be able to program your money to just do that continuously, like, it's nuts. And so that's what we're building next. That should be coming out, and like we should have an MVP done in the next 2 months or so. And then we'll be rolling it out in like beta to users who want to give it a try and give it a whirl. And then we'll probably be doing a full go-to-market in 3 to 6 months from now. So really stoked about that.
Whose AI is like the foundational framework for this? Are you using like Grok, ChatGPT, something a little like, when it comes to like talking about making AI, it's like, well, I feel like it's Adam and Eve, and then we rub those two AIs together to get the third AI, and then we have all this other like incestual AI code breeding.
They're just all forks.
Yeah, exactly. So like, do you know like sort of the ingredients to your AI, or kind of like the ancestral lineage of like where it comes from, or what was being used to build it? Because I'm like, that part really interests me, because it's like following the family tree of AI.
Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be a little bit of a mindfuck. So Eric Voorhees founded another company called Venice, and Venice is an AI, decentralized AI company. He did this probably, I think it was like 2 years ago, maybe. And so you're like, wow, Eric, why are you going to AI? And this dude has like some foresight that like no one really has. So he founded this company, and basically they have a bunch of different models. It's anyone can provide data or run infra for this. You can stake VVV, and then you have access to a free API key that has a certain amount of credits based on how much VVV you stake. And so right now, the AI tooling that we're using to power this agent is the Venice AI. And inside of that, there's 2 different models. Our product guy could talk more about what specific models inside Venice we're consuming, because like they're super different and weird. But the general provider is Venice, which is Eric Voorhees' company, which is nuts. It's like ShapeShift sort of came full circle. We went from, Eric Voorhees, permissionless finance, 2014, made some bad decisions in 2018, decentralized in 2021, spent like 3 years figuring it out, and now it's 2025, and we're like, hey, Eric, like, we built the original vision plus more, and we executed it really well, and now we're going to build on top of your chatbot, or not on top of your AI access you're giving. Like, let's go nuts. So it's really weird how full circle that's come.
No, it's awesome.
That's badass.
I again, big fan of Eric, and to see like that he was getting involved in the AI stuff, I was also like, okay, so how's this all gonna tie together? Because it's like obviously not too far apart, and then I see like the AI coming into the ShapeShift stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Totally. I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Like, makes total sense. Go ahead, Miggy.
Yeah, we got to see that his dad just launched the project recently too. Eric Voorhees' dad. I forget what it was, but we were at one of the Bid Angels.
Oh yeah, with
he
Michael
did the
Turpin.
pitch.
That's right.
Yeah, he did his pitch, and he got some investment for his project. So I'm sure it has something to do with AI as well. Pretty cool stuff. So do you guys have like, what are some measures you guys are taking for like I guess safety measures for the AI stuff, dealing with the chat and things like that? 'Cause, there are some bad actors out there that, can take advantage of the AI and, purposely, put in shit, to kind of, make
the
it.
AI becomes a Bitcoin Cash maximalist. I thought you said you wanted Bitcoin. I got you Bitcoin. BCH. BCH is Bitcoin. No, you stupid bot.
Like, are there concerns about that, or is it something that you guys, like already kind of nipped in the bud? Or
so my product guy will be able to talk to you about this much more, but there's like 2 different bins that sort of run through this. So we have a bug bounty currently with Hack and Proof that covers both app and classic, and will also cover this agent. So that's like from like a traditional, like, how do you prevent hackers from doing that? Like, we're going to do full due diligence from that. The code will be open source, so people, of course, can like look at it, right? But also, like, saying it's weird. People, sidestepping for a second to like go down this route, but like people say, "Oh, we're open source; it's so transparent." Dude, you asked me to read the ShapeShift code. I couldn't do that. Like I'd be like, cool, like code, it does things. Like ChatGPT, what does this actually do? And it would be like, I don't know. And so like being open source is cool and all, but like also for the everyday person, that doesn't really matter. So what does matter for the everyday person is having like a series of built-in use cases. And so basically from the MVP perspective of what this bot is going to do is straight and simple is going to be like swaps, auto restaking, and like really basic DeFi things, which are all things that app.shapeshift.com currently do, right? And so if and those are use cases, those are routes we've already worked with for 8+ years, right? Just that we know inside and out. So we're going to build those use cases in, and we're going to box it into like, hey, you can only do these 3 things. And here's the thing that I noticed, and my product guy would like totally high five me if he was here. But people build these AI chatbots, and they're like, it's going to do everything, mint NFTs, and do this thing, and we're going to do like all this stuff. And it's like, no, we're just going to do 3 things, like swap, DeFi. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Yep. So yeah, swap, DeFi, and what could the other one be? Shitcoin. Launch a shitcoin. Launch my own shitcoin.
No more token launchers, please. No, so swap, DeFi, and then like auto restaking, which sort of is like a sub thing.
Oh, that's the passive, dude. You were mentioning that earlier, and I didn't want to interrupt, but I will now because I didn't then. That is the ingredient to passive income. When we have all this smart shit, when I got into crypto and I saw Ethereum smart contracts and all this stuff, and I'm like, everybody was throwing the word passive income around in 2015, 2016. I think around 2017, people got sick and tired of it because it's not so passive. If I have to keep clicking on shit to do things, it's not passive. But with AI and what ShapeShift is building out is like actually the way to do a passive income situation. Like actually set it, forget it, and reap the benefits.
Yep. And the thing is like this is all built on top of no KYC. Like and the big reason why like I think no KYC matters, principles aside, is you can't have robots KYC, which is the hard thing. And so if you want to program your money, how are you going to KYC a wallet that can't be KYC because it's a robot? Like, I guess you could KYC it yourself, but like fundamentally, like, how do you justify all those actions? Like, what does that mean for tax implications? Like, there's all these weird unknowns that like KYC introduces, where it's like, if you just eliminate that entire thing, you stay true to the values of crypto and the ethos there, and you just allow yourself to do more on chain and just program it. It's like, if you could just DCA $100 into Bitcoin every single day, and you connect to your ledger and you say, hey, ShapeShift chatbot, every day buy $100 of Bitcoin. I don't care what price, just do it. And ShapeShift then finds you the best route across 10 different swappers, and you just do it. Like, that's great. Or maybe you're going to sell Bitcoin, right? Like, and you're just like, hey, I need to pay rent by the 15th of every month. I need to have $2,500 of USDC in my wallet. I don't care what you have to do. Make sure I have that amount. And it looks at your entire portfolio, rebalances, reallocates, and then just does it. Like, that's super baller. And all it is just like the very fundamental, like three use cases, which is like swapping, DeFi, auto restaking. Like, that's it, straight and simple.
I like that. Honestly, I think that's something I would love to use. That's a pretty good feature, especially to be able to make it, set simplistic boundaries, but let it do some complicated stuff in the background.
Yeah, with the DCA stuff, I mean, that's DCAI. Ha! That's the thing now, DCAI. Because I would love to set it and forget it in a dollar cost averaging way of like telling it to, kind of here's my weekly or daily or monthly, however you want to DCA in allowance. But I also want it to be like whatever's in like the top 10 or whatever's trending, or like you could have these like cliff high kind of variables that changes the parameters, and let AI kind of like handle what you would do. Like if people are talking about Dash more today than Monero, maybe I'll grab more Dash today, but I want the AI to do all that homework. I don't want to have to do all that. So, or even just ask AI like, hey, what are people asking you to buy them? Like, give me that majority. Like, it would know. It has like the algorithm. It would know. So I think DCAI is going to be really cool to see people utilizing it to have like a basket of tokens without having to do too much research on that. Like, I don't want to say, and this is where I get worried about with the garbage in, garbage out stuff, where like, people could potentially pump a shitcoin through AI because like of a mass, I don't want to say attack, but it would be sort of like an attack where like a shitcoin community comes into ShapeShift. They start playing with the AI, getting their tokens to swap into this like one, and then the AI eventually accidentally thinks this is natural engagement and starts feeding that info to other people. Like that's where I'm excited to see people like trying to trick AI with this like garbage in, garbage out human activities.
Yep. And the other thing here that's like I think is really important to like differentiate with what we're building, and we talked about this today because we were like, this is really hard. Like, why don't we just do what everyone else did? And we're like, no, that's dumb. And you see all these AI products that are built now, but it's like basically a smart wallet, or you deposit funds into this AI wallet and then it manages it for you. And that's like fine and dandy.
Yeah, but then it hires a hitman. Then it do something else. And the next thing you know, like I'm in trouble because my AI went rogue with my wallet, bro.
Yeah. And so like the cool thing that we're building is like meeting customers where they're at, right? So it's like if you have a ledger or a Trezor, you just connect it in. There's no transferring funds anywhere. If you have a cold wallet, you can just go and do the stuff on the AI bot. It then does it when it's connected. You approve certain balances amounts, and then you just go. Like that's the key thing that I think is really missing in this space, which is like, for you to use any chatbot, if you're using Fungi or Wayfinder or whatever, right? You have to deposit funds, or Banker, right? You have to deposit funds into the wallet, which then lets it do stuff, which is, fine and helpful. But I think the next unlock is bring your own wallet, come and do your thing, and then be able to comfortably disconnect your wallet, take it away, and have a set approval of like, this is the play box, go play in this box, don't leave it, while you still retain full custody of like that specific wallet that you want to use. So you're not forcing a user to use, some random ass wallet, web wallet, because you're not going to see real volume there, right? Like we have to think about it. Like ShapeShift's biggest, ways that we make money, and also our biggest use case where we see with our users is like the $100,000, $1 million swaps. And no one, I mean, there are some very special people who do like $1 million trades on their phone. Wow. And I think that's nuts. I don't know how you do that.
That literally gives me goosebumps. Like, why would you even do that? You can shapeshift it. You don't even have to. Why would you give your money up to an exchange for a 5-minute trade? Like,
right?
Yeah,
oh my
that's
gosh.
so much risk for so little reward, and the options that are out there outweigh that. But I get it. Some people feel more comfortable doing it until they realize why centralization sucks, and something happens with the account. It gets frozen. It gets locked. You're locked out of it. And next thing you know, you're fighting for your own money back from an exchange that was just going to help you trade it for the thing you wanted. When you never had to give up the custody of your asset, you could have just shapeshifted it, got what you wanted, whatever, giving up what you had. And I don't know. It takes one of those events that you have to go through the problem to really see the value in the solution. Because until you have a centralized exchange tell you that money in there isn't yours anymore, you don't have, like, it works until it doesn't, right? And it's sort of like they come for the strangers down the street, then they eventually come for the neighbor, then they come for until you have that problem right in front of you, you don't care about what your neighbor went through with the centralized exchange. It's been working for you.
Here's the other thing that's actually really cool that ShapeShift has an edge above like some of our other competitors is we're a DAO, and somehow we also were able to finagle like an app on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. So if you want ShapeShift on your phone, you could go search ShapeShift and download it. And we're pushing updates. We just now are starting a big mobile revamp where we're redesigning, and reimagining the entire mobile experience and making that feel really smooth. Because not that we want people to trade millions and millions of dollars on their phone, but we fully realize like people like doing stuff on their phone. Like they like doing it. They feel comfortable doing it. Maybe they'll load a small web wallet and they'll just use it to play around with whatever. But we're trying to make that really great and not exclude that market. And the whole thing which weirdly enough about ShapeShift is we're trying to be as inclusive as possible within the self-custodial, centralized, permissionless finance space where anyone can hold their own keys, no matter what phone they have, no matter if you have a laptop or not. You can use ShapeShift, right? There's minimal barriers for you to be able to do that. Because that's really our mission, right? Open, permissionless finance for everyone.
Yeah, got to shift the way we trade.
Yeah, actually was just sending that over. I was going to bring that up I wanted to see what your thoughts were on, like, how people have the trading bots or whatever, and they like program it for people to follow it and see what it's up to. Is there anything that we could do with the AI and ShapeShift to let people see how I'm using it so they could follow me and do what I'm doing and sort of like, oh, Ken's AI on ShapeShift has been making him some money. Let me do exactly what he's doing with ShapeShift AI. Is there any way to have like a public profile to let people see exactly how I'm using it? That's
a really good idea. Well, because everything's executed on chain, so from the initial scope, right, it's like we're doing 3 things. If we can do these 3 things really great, everything else is gravy. So like I'm right now, like my product guy, how he was high-fiving me earlier now. but now he has a gun to my head and he's like, don't overpromise anything. But like in theory, right, all this happens on chain. So if someone, and we're also open source, and so if someone was like, hey, like I want to copy trade Ken, they could be like, okay, this is a wallet that maybe they don't even know it's Ken's wallet. They're just like, hey, this is
I was
a
going to
wallet.
copy trade this wallet.
I'm just gonna copy trade this wallet. You can even probably just talk to the bot and be like, check out this transactions this wallet's been doing on chain. Whenever they do a transaction, follow it, right? Like you could probably do that, and I'm again not trying to overpromise the world because I'm just the marketing guy, and the product.
Yeah.
Tim, our head of product, is probably like screaming right now. He's probably feeling like his face is turning red. But in theory, right? Then that's the beauty is it's all on chain, and the information is public and open for everyone. Which is
so
the
I
most
could make an
important
algorithm. What's the word I'm trying to say?
algorithm.
No,
Aggregator.
Aggregator, that word.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude, words are hard. I could build one of those that go through and sift through all that data and actually make a UI UX that displays all that stuff. Make a leaderboard out of it because you don't know who's who. But then you could. I don't know. Whenever I
make
see
AI do all that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Like as soon as I see AI,
have AI build it, find the data.
Yep, that's what I want to do. Because I could try to use ShapeShift AI in my own way, or I could just try to find somebody who's been really successful at utilizing it and just copy and paste what they're doing and ride the coattails all the way to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I like that. I mean, it works for the copy traders, for Forex and stuff like that. I mean, that's basically what they do. You get to see what they're doing, and you get to mimic their trades, and then use AI to do the exact same thing as they're doing. And they're using AI to do their trades anyways.
I'm going to use my AI to counter trade. I don't care if it loses me money. I just wanted to do the least intelligent thing every day, just so AI knows what it feels like to like walk into a door frame and like hit it. I just wanted to feel a little dumb sometimes, and it's like it funny. Needs me to make it do dumb shit to feel a little dumb. So hey AI, I want you to counter trade the best trader, and we're just gonna see how that works out for me. Because like, or even I don't know. Again, with having it tied into like socials. Anytime like CNBC Fast Money talk shit, I just want to buy whatever they're talking shit on. Like I want to counter trade CNBC Fast Money.
Tell it to buy whatever they're saying to sell, or whatever they're saying to buy.
You could probably make something like an inverse Kramer bot, where you could like you have like a social listener through like Meltwater or something, and then plug the Meltwater API. Like I'm not saying we can do this, but like I'm just hypothetically like you plug a Meltwater API into the bot, so it has some sort of listing tool. So when Kramer mentions X, Y, and Z, it just automatically auto inverse Kramer bot.
Nice.
This is what needs to happen. We have to have fun with this stuff, man. And the fact that we have all these tools at our disposal, and we're just sitting here talking about it. I can't wait to be doing it, and having more fun in this space with these tools, especially with AI. It takes a lot of that stress off the people. I think at least like trying to figure out. It's almost like having a mechanic in the passenger seat at all times. You don't necessarily need to know how the transmission works, but your passenger in the car, the AI, knows how the transmission works. If something goes wrong, you have a mechanic on the spot. And I think that peace of mind with the finances and everything is going to help people really get into this, like retail wise. Like we're still having a hard time getting mom and pop into the whole crypto game here. Right. But with AI, if you're running a mom and pop pizza shop, maybe you could talk to AI. It could help you launch a token, help you learn how to provide liquidity, help you gamify the tokenomics, and just have AI come up with this whole loyalty rewards program from a mom and pop pizza shop, literally just from a chat GBT conversation or something. Like that's, again, and maybe that's where like Venice AI and stuff like that could go. Maybe it knows more crypto-centric things that like ChatGPT just wouldn't necessarily understand or care about, and then people can go to Venice AI to learn how to like launch their shitcoin instead, right? Like that, I think is going to be important. I know we can start wrapping things up. Is there anything that you wanted to make sure we got to talk about that we may not have been able to cover?
There was like two things. One was actually I wanted to mention this because I thought it was super cool. I'm making a video right now about it. But Friday, I sat down with a marketing guy. I was scrolling through Twitter, and I don't know if you guys have heard of ZK P2P. Not a project I'm building. I just thought it was super interesting. You can basically, using ZK tech, you can on-off ramp crypto. You basically in a peer-to-peer manner. The name explains the product. Give me one sec.
Yeah, I'm sitting here over here sipping my bubbly, but some reason it kind of looks like a Coke. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah, it
but
does when
I'm
they're-
not drinking that poison. I'm drinking
No.
bubble. But the
I just-
mouthpiece is on the wrong side for me to like show what I'm drinking, right?
That's
so
funny.
It just looks like I'm drinking fucking Coke, which I haven't had in like 2 months, 3 months.
You could have fooled me. Okay, yeah. So ZKP2P, it's really cool. You can buy crypto from Zelle or Venmo or Cash App, whatever. All permissionless, no KYC. I'm all for that kind of specific thing. And so I found that you could do a custom receive address for when you buy crypto with Venmo. You can say send the funds to this address. And I was like, that's really interesting. What if I plug that into classic.shapeshift.com? And if you go to that website, you'll notice there's 2 address fields. One is the send asset address. The other is the receive asset address. And I was like, I wonder if I could send the output of ZKP2P into classic.shapeshift.com to then execute a swap on Classic to then give me Bitcoin. And I did that. And
Wow.
so I went from Venmo to Bitcoin with it using ZK Tech and ShapeShift in like 10 minutes. And of course the Bitcoin transaction took like a half hour to confirm because it's all settled on chain. But also like that was like in the video you can hear me screaming. I was like, this is it. I did it, guys. It's like I just bought Bitcoin with Venmo, and it settled in a peer-to-peer permissionless on-chain way. And I thought that was super
That's
cool.
fucking
And
cool.
so-
That is
I
really
like
cool,
that.
bro. That's like the doc from Back to the Future where he's like, I did it, Marty. We did it. Like, hell yeah. I can see the gears turning when you're talking about, like, yo, that's pretty fucking badass.
It was super cool, and like it happened. So I'll create a video and I'll share it with you after I'm done. Just because I had to trim the video down because it was a half hour to settle the Bitcoin transaction. But that was super cool, and so I found that literally on Friday, and so I don't know. I'm really stoked about some of these ways that some of these other tools can even plug into ShapeShift and how it functions to empower people to get to the other route. Because without ShapeShift, all you can do with ZKP2P is get into USDC.
Yeah.
But once you get USDC, what do you do then? But then you plug it into ShapeShift, and all of a sudden now you're getting Bitcoin. That's awesome.
No, that's really awesome, bro. That's
Yeah, I like that.
really awesome.
Yeah, super cool. And the second thing I wanted to chat through, and this is something that's coming down the pipeline. So today we integrated Maya Protocol, another swapper. We now have 8 swappers inside of app.shapeshift.com that source liquidity and give you rates. We're adding 3 more swappers in the next month. Into that, we'll then have 11 swappers inside of app.shapeshift.com across 15 chains. And this is sort of like a general call to action of like, if anyone knows protocols that specialize in swapping or they have a unique way to settle transactions or a unique way to get just-in-time liquidity, the more competitive routes we get. And it's really interesting. ShapeShift is like an arena, and inside the arena, instead of having players like traders fight each other, we're having protocols fight each other to make sure that they get the best rate, that they're eking out every dollar of value they can for the customer. Right, so they're not just sitting on their chairs and you're like, oh, we provide liquidity and the swaps are the swaps. It's like, no. Like if you want to be first and you want the customers to specifically choose your route to do a trade, you need to provide the best rates, the most consistent rates, the fastest rates, and the more protocols we can integrate into ShapeShift, the more pressure we put on those performers to consistently be at the top. And so if you're listening to this and if you're like, oh, I really love this random protocol, like there's Butter Network came in and they're like, oh, we're Butter Swap and we provide really cool stable coin trading. And I'm like, I've never heard of you. But we checked the rates and the rates were like 5 to 10% better. And all of a sudden now it's 5 to 10% more pressure on our competitors inside that we're aggregating inside the app to provide better rates for our customers, which at the end of the day builds a better customer experience. So if you're listening to this, or if you guys know of any, join the Discord, be like, hey, you guys should check out integrating X, Y, and Z protocol. And that all just helps make the app better. So those were the 2 things I wanted to mention.
That's cool.
Yeah, as closing out.
Heck
I like
yeah,
that.
Bro. Appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you. I hope you have a hell of a day. Where are you at, in LA, right, or something?
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles. Right now I'm in Santa Barbara, but yeah, normally in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I know. We got to get out there. We got our driver Bobcat over here. We got the bus, and we got the party bus, and we got the burger bus. So we just have to, I guess, do the whole fishbowl thing and throw the keys in a fishbowl, pick random keys out, and see which vehicle we're gonna take to LA. But I definitely want to come down and hang out soon, bro. I'll probably be in El Salvador with Ben next month, but probably after that I'll be able to come down to LA and say hi, and we could do like a meetup or something. Dude, you should come to Vegas. August 2nd is the grand opening to the club out here.
Yeah,
right before Rare Evo. This close.
I would love to. I have a family. I have like, it's like a once every 5-year family meeting where like there's like a truce between like the family members that hate each other, and they all like get around a table and talk, and that's on the second. And I can't miss that because one, it'll be funny as hell, and two, like I need to show
That's awesome.
up.
Well, you have to orange pill all of them. So yeah, you have more important things to do.
Oh no,
Right.
definitely happening. And yeah, if you do come out to LA, I do have the decks, and I was thinking about throwing a show in September. And Koopa Troopa
would
is
be
out here
perfect.
too, and that could be super fun. So if you,
Well,
we
September
all
might
just get
actually be
that.
perfect. That might be
Yeah.
perfect, bro. It's right after Burning Man.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
That'd be cool. If you want to drop your socials, for so everybody can follow and the website.
Yeah, let people know your social security number so they can follow you.
Yes, please.
Got you. It's yeah, cool. So if you want to find out, if you want to check out what I'm building, it's at ShapeShift, SHAPE, and then Shift. That's on X, Farcaster, Instagram, YouTube. If you want to check out my personal socials, I'm trying to post every single day. I'm succeeding at posting every single day now. I'm trying to post more video content. That's on X, HPAY, HPAY, as in yam, N as in Nancy, E as in elephant, _writer. And if you want to check out the apps and the URLs that I was building, you can go on any app store and type in ShapeShift. You'll find the web app there, or the mobile app there. And then if you want to check it out on your desktop computer, it's app.shapeshift.com or classic.shapeshift.com to get to that memoless experience I was talking about earlier around ZKP2P, going straight from Venmo to Bitcoin. And then if you want to join the Discord, this is like probably like the two most important links I would say out of everything I just mentioned, is join the forum, forum.shapeshift.com. Like, go say hi, go read what's going on. We post weekly updates in there. Go join the Discord, discord.gg/shapeshift. And you can come in and say hi. We have governance calls every Thursday at 2 p.m. PST ? Time might be different because my memory sucks, but like every Thursday we have governance calls. If you want to come in and say hi. And then throughout the week we have, contributor working calls where it's like an office building. You can walk in and just sit on someone's desk and say, I'm here. And we just sort of work around you and chat, and it's a great time.
See, if you've been listening to this and you don't have any crypto, you're not really into the space yet, you're just trying to learn, you don't have to spend anything. You can go to the ShapeShift DAO, submit a proposal, maybe do a local meetup or whatever your daily job is. What if you're a developer, a graphic engineer, a sound developer, whatever? Maybe you can make the next jingle for the ShapeShift app or whatever. Every time you shapeshift something, the sound that's played, you created that sound and you got paid for it through the DAO. Just find whatever it is that you're doing right now, 9 to 5 IRL, and apply that to a proposal, submit it to ShapeShift, and get yourself a job in the space. Earn some fucking crypto, please. You can buy it, you can ShapeShift it, you can definitely swap into it, but you can earn it with the ShapeShift DAO. I know I want to try to submit my proposal by the end of the week for my tattoo. I have to pick now either my palm, or I was kind of looking like right up here, but yeah, I mean, a shapeshift fox on the palm would be pretty badass because it almost looks like an upside down diamond anyway. So it's like so close. Anyway, I guess everybody, thank you so much for joining and listening. Don't forget to share this out. Go ahead, Miggy. Say your sats, your 2 sats.
Boom! I just made my forum account, so I'll be applying for my ShapeShift tattoo as well. But yeah, like he said, get out there, get involved. If you're new to the space, find what you like. Find the community, stick with it, and don't give up. Just get involved and stay involved. We appreciate you coming, man. And I'm glad you came to talk about ShapeShift because, honestly, I knew what I knew, but the things that you talked about were new to me. So it rebuilds my interest and reminds me that
AI, dude. I'm really
like I need to get back involved with these kind of things, and these projects and stuff like that. It is a good ethos to work in, and gotta get shifty. You know what I'm saying? So. Appreciate y'all watching.
Yeah, why be a trader when you can be a shifter? So much.
Be a shifter.
And then you have like a gear shifter, but it's like the ShapeShift Fox logo that you're like gears are lined out in different gear. Anyway, all right, we'll wrap it up here. All right, guys, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, visit, and all that stuff. Miggy, thank you, bros. Have a day. We're done.
Have a day. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. Zomcam bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get some Ken Bozak.